Now, here at Al Jazeera, we bring you many stories looking at Israel's so-called separation barrier, covering the political and personal impact of one of the world's most controversial structures. But as Mike Hanna has discovered, one divided community in the West Bank is working to overcome the problems it creates.
On the one side of the valley, the Israeli kibbutz of Metzah. On the other, the Palestinian village of Kafin. Neighbors now divided. The separation barrier ending a relationship in which Israelis and Palestinians worked the land side by side for decades.
People used to dig in that land and plant in it. Now they have no work and the land is useless because they cannot access it.
It makes me sad and it makes me angry, and I don't think it's fair.
In the 4 years since the construction of the separation barrier, these Palestinian lands have been lying fallow. They are right on the 1967 line, what many believe as marking the border of Israel proper. Behind me, the banana plantations of the kibbutz Metzah, right on the other side of that line in Israel. It's here that the members of both communities agreed that if a separation barrier was to be built, this, in all fairness, is where it should be. Instead, the barrier has been constructed more than a kilometre away, separating the villages of Kafin from over 50% of their arable land. The reason for the separation barrier, says Israel, is to increase the security of its citizens. Those on kibbutz Metzah do not believe it served its purpose.
Security comes from human beings, not from fences, not from walls and not from rocks. I trusted the Palestinians then, and I trust them now. Our security was guaranteed by the good relations between us and them.
But while the relationship has been altered, many in the village of Kafin do not see it as over, nor do those Israelis on the kibbutz Metzah. They've raised millions of dollars in pledges to once again farm the fallow lands of the village in a unique joint venture between Israelis and Palestinians.
Now they are planning with the municipality of Kafin to have a project of agricultural project, including planting greenhouses and maybe in the future sewage treatment.
And we're waiting for the basically for the approval of the Israeli authorities.
The approval needed for the Palestinians to be able to pass at will through the gate in the separation barrier to work their fields alongside the Israelis of Metzah. The approval has not yet been granted. But the construction of what could be the centerpiece of this joint venture is now well underway, a vast reservoir being built on the kibbutz land intended to provide water for both Metzah and the village of Kafin. The barrier has succeeded in separating people, but here at least the thought that they can still work together. And in this reservoir, perhaps, the promise that not only Israeli and Palestinian fields will be irrigated, but also the idea of Israeli and Palestinian peace. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, on the kibbutz Metzah.